When Ted and Cheryl Avis decided to open a branch of their environmental firm in Cape Town, Cheryl spent a year looking at houses on the Atlantic seaboard. Eventually, she asked the agent to take her back to the very first property she'd looked at, and on entering, knew this was it. Together with architect Thomas Gay, they've spent 3 years on the renovation.
There was an existing structure. How did you change it to accommodate Cheryl and Ted's vision?
Well, being an existing structure and it was placed the way it is, we basically opened up the north-facing side of the house so that you have the midday sun situation, and we also opened it up on the front side, but with protecting it by using these canopies that you see up there. And here in Kemps Bay, you have the southeaster blowing, and you have to design in such a way that you're sheltered, and also from the sun, because the sun sets over there in the west, and it is important to have that kind of protection. And question to you is, has it worked?
It has. It's worked phenomenally well. It really is. So we have that vista of the whole of the Atlantic and the Camps Bay beach, and then on the north side, which is really important to me because during winter I want to be warm, and it's just fabulous. You have a really lovely north vista looking at Lion's Head, and always a spot to go where you'll find the sun.
It's a great location, but quite a steep one at that. What were some of the challenges you faced?
Originally, you had winding stairs going up, probably 50 or so.
At least.
And that was quite a challenge to dig this hole for that lift shaft in the garage while the house was standing on the edge of the excavation. So that was quite a challenge from a technical point of view, engineering point of view.
Yes, and we were praying for no rain at the time.
Before the lift went in, every bit of joinery and furniture had to be carried up into the house along the narrowest of walkways without damaging anything. It wasn't a problem for the ground floor, where these masks evoke Cheryl's childhood spent in Luanshya on Zambia's Copperbelt. But once it came to decorating the rest of the place, the elevator was a blessing. With space at a premium, the couple made creative use of every square meter.
So this is the roof garden space. When we completed the garage and the entrance hall, there was a waterproof seal on the top, and I wanted to make a really lovely, quiet space. So I came up with this concept of a potted garden with a koi pond and a deck. And it's supposed to be all white plants, but we've ended up with a few purple interlopers. It's a bit like life. You can't always get what you want. And John Sharp put the whole thing together for us. It was just amazing, and it's a lovely space. You could call it the gin deck or the moon garden.
The white flowers are meant to catch the moonlight at night. Upstairs in the living area, it's Ted and Cheryl's personalities which are reflected in the decor, drawn from a wide range of sources. They take a sustainable approach to furnishing, reusing beloved items.
Walking through your home, I'm greeted by so many interesting pieces which make for such unique decor.
Well, you know, Harmony, it's actually a collection over a lifetime, and I've also followed a philosophy called Franciscan philosophy, where you reuse and repurpose old beloved things. So a lot of it has been collected and brought along. Very few items here had to be brought into the house. It's something we've had, but I love art, I love antiques, travel, and my heritage. So these pieces actually all represent that.
You were quite hands-on when it came to the design. Do you think this home reflects your personality?
I do, because so many of the pieces, they come from my childhood, they come from our travels. Some of the pieces I've designed and have been specially made. Hope over there, that's a Bruce Little sculpture, and very special to me because that brings hope for the rhinos, for our country, for our world basically. And Jackie Griffin-Jones, I have a lot of her artwork. She's a prominent Eastern Cape artist. Pieces I've designed, the dining room table, that was designed under a tree in Salem with John Howes, who actually made these beautiful pieces. This coffee table, the CD cabinet was also my design, and if you open the drawers, there's cedar wood inside, so it gives lovely fragrance. And then antiques, you know, the a Carol Otto piano that was imported from Berlin in Germany in it was 1896, and went through 5 generations of children until we acquired it, so that's very special. And then the Jacobean sideboard, that was in a Scottish castle, and that dates back to the 1600s.
Their home champions the work of artists from the Eastern Cape, where the couple met at Rhodes University. Their sleigh bed with a rising moon sequence behind it has a whimsical quality. Lion's head is framed in this window, and the antique chairs and dresser resemble an illustration from a book. Cheryl worked on the design compositions, and interior designer Heather Cresswell handled the cabinetry work.
Heather, you've known the Avis family for quite some time now. How do you feel the interior represents the family?
I think what this home does really speak to is who the Avises are, bringing that Eastern Cape warmth, and they're great entertainers. And for me, from a design perspective, what I'm always looking to create is a home that reflects back to the people who live there the best aspects of who they are. And I really feel like this home does that, with the combination of all the treasures that they've collected over the years, the sentimental value that that has, and then bringing in a lot of functionality to enable the display of that.
There really are some treasures and some interesting original pieces. How did you incorporate this into the design?
I always think that if you love something, no matter how different it is and from different eras, whether it's modern or coming through a family heritage, those will work together in synergy. So when we designed the kitchen, we took that into account, that we were going to be combining clean modern lines with something like the yellowwood dining room table that ties in with the yellowwood tree that you can see through the window. So it's working with what is present as well as bringing in something new. So I'm always hesitant to disregard what a family already has and just design from scratch, because I think it's really important that we bring the sense of who we are and where we've come from into our living area.
Well, Cheryl, how do you feel about your kitchen?
I absolutely love it. It's the place where I love to be. Early morning, coffee on the white couch, sun coming in, late night decaf before you go to bed. So it just does everything for me. And I'm part of what's going on, so I don't feel like I'm stuck away in a different place. It really works.
Ted's wine collection makes a stunning feature wall. And it's not just for show. After a long day at work, this is the place to ask clinical psychologist Cheryl about her day, and to enjoy the company of their sons Luke, who's on an educational exchange in Colombia, and Jono, who's also a student.
Ted, were you as involved as Cheryl was in designing the home?
Yes, I'd say for the most part, definitely during the construction phase. But when it came to the interiors, I left that up to Cheryl because she's a lot more skilled than I am. But between us, we felt the same amount of pain during that construction period, but it's definitely been all worthwhile at the end of it.
Jono, your parents put in a lot of work to make this house quite special. Which room do you resonate with the most?
I'd say definitely the TV room and the living table right there. We spend a lot of time together as a family after work and studying. We all just relax, catch up with our day and just have a lot of fun.
And for you?
For me, I would say it's this outside patio. It really just opens up the house, and it's so relaxing to be sitting outside, particularly on days like today. And Cheryl also likes it here because really we entertain outside, and that's my turn to cook because that's where we have our braai. So I think it's probably her favorite place as well.
I can see why anyone would want to live here. Why do you consider this home your forever home?
Because we've got these magnificent views, and to get up in the morning and to look out at the Atlantic seaboard, it's just so relaxing and uplifting, and it really almost feels like one's on holiday. Of course, then one realizes one has to get ready for work, but nevertheless, it's lovely to see those views.
Well, all your work and your pain paid off, because now we get to enjoy this beautiful view in this beautiful home.
Every minute spent getting it right has been worth it. All their previous homes have come together in one, and the only place they're going from here is the beach.